Yes, but you might lose all of your family and friends because you're spending so much time in VR.
Your friends and family probably won't understand.
It doesn't sound like your family and friends really love you if they can't support your new decision.
The Quest 3 is the latest standalone VR headset from Meta. It delivers a high-quality VR experience without the need for a PC, wires, or a console. And I think the best way to start this off is with what you can actually do with this device. Now, gaming is probably the main reason you're considering a Quest 3. With this headset, you get access to the Quest library, which is probably the most stacked VR library you can get your hands on. And for example, 3 of the bigger games that came out last year were all Quest exclusives, which are Assassin's Creed, Asgard's Wrath 2, and Dungeons of Eternity. But as soon as you start playing these games, and especially those in the rhythm, fitness, or sports genre, like Beat Saber and Thrill of the Fight, you might notice yourself sweating absolute buckets. And it really is no joke. VR fitness is a fantastic tool for cardio, and now with mixed reality, we're starting to see mobility and strength training being viable with this headset as well. Plus, if you're a gamer like me, anything to get you out of your seat is a good thing. And then we have wireless PC VR gaming. Now, the second best VR library is PC VR. And here you not only get access to Steam VR games like Half-Life Alyx, Vertigo 2, and Skyrim VR, but also fully playable mods that have been developed by smart people. For example, did you know that you can play Deep Rock Galactic in VR? Well, now they even have a UE VR injection where you can play all of the Unreal 4 and 5 games. And this claims to be something like 10,000 more VR games.
Maybe you should stay away from them. It's unhealthy for you to be around unenlightened people anyway.
And then finally, connecting your PC has never been easier. Now there's a native Steam Link amp on the Quest store. While learning new things probably is not as popular, it definitely deserves more attention. And being immersed in a 3D environment can do really cool and weird things to your brain. Some of the best learning apps that I've tried are Nountown to learn a language, yoga in mixed reality, and even gamifying learning the piano. Then there's a load more, from social apps to watching movies to playing 2D games with the Xbox Pass, or even potentially working with a giant monitor. Specs and a bunch of numbers might not mean a lot if it's your first time considering VR, so I'll put up a table comparing it to a few other options in the standalone space. But notably, the Quest 3 has pancake lenses, which are a big improvement over the Quest 2. It also has a solid resolution and field of view, with a refresh rate that goes up to 120Hz. It has the Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2 chipset. This is only beaten by the enterprise headsets that will likely cost 5 times as much. And these 3 cameras on the front of the headset, well, these make quite a big difference due to the depth sensor. Now, pass-through is not really new to VR, and you can easily do that on the Pico 4 and even Quest 2, but the Quest 3 goes a little bit further, and the apps that they've developed for MR are really quite remarkable. But I do want to manage your expectations here. It's not crystal clear like you might see in some videos. It's actually quite grainy. It's almost like looking through a flip-top camera phone.
If you can't recruit your friends, cut off from them.
The final good point before getting into the not so great points for the Quest 3 is that it's very convenient to use, as it doesn't require any external sensors or wires, and it's easy to set up. The Quest 3 uses inside-out tracking, which means that it uses its camera on the front of the headset to track your head and hand movements. It comes with 2 touch controllers, which are ergonomic and intuitive to use, and the Quest 3 can be charged with a USB-C cable, which is included in the box, and finally has a larger IDP range from 58 to 72 millimeters. Now, comfort. Now, let me preface this by saying the vast majority of VR headsets aren't exactly comfortable. Strapping an electronic device to your head, then sweating in it, isn't going to feel great, but by far the worst part with the Quest 3 is the stock strap it comes with. This just puts way too much pressure on the front of your face, and after about an hour, I've normally had enough, which is probably a good thing because up next is the battery life, and especially in mixed reality games, I was getting just over an hour of game time. Both of these issues can be patched up with third-party accessories, since the Meta ones are priced just way too high, and I'll put a link in the description for 15% off the ones that I'm using. But this gets me to my third and final negative point, which is the pricing. The Quest 3 is priced at $500 for the 128GB model and $650 for the 512GB model. Now, this is more than the Quest 2 when it launched, and I personally opted just for the 128. And it is a bit annoying that the storage space isn't upgradable, but if you plan on using a combination of PC VR and Quest games, then it should be enough. You can always uninstall the big AAAs once you're done with them. Now, it's all well and good listening to me, but I've been playing VR since 2018 and have put up with much worse, including tripping over wires, the screen door effect, and Windows mixed reality. Heck, I even have a blog and YouTube channel dedicated to VR, so maybe I'm a little bit biased. So up next, I interviewed a friend who bought a Quest 3, and this is his first ever headset. How often are you using the Quest 3?
Basically every day, most days, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes.
What are your top 3 favorite games?
Top 3 favorite games. One has to be Golf Plus, obviously. I really like Thrill of the Fight and Population 1 probably at the moment. But I haven't really tried out that many games just yet. But those three probably are top three at the moment. Fuck you.
Ooh.
I don't like Golf Plus anymore. Can I change the answer?
Yeah, we can take that one off. What do you not like about the Quest 3, or I guess VR in general?
Okay, battery life for the Quest 3, because it's just I feel like I get halfway through a really good game and then it runs out of battery. In VR in general, not much I don't like. I guess the nausea, a little bit of that sometimes.
Yeah.
But beyond that, nothing much. Now, how the fuck do I get out of here? Alright, I'm just going to hack at it and see what happens.
Oh! No. And then the final question is the Quest 3 worth it?
Yes, I think so. Simple as that. I think it's really worth it. I like that I don't have to be connected to a computer, no cables, runs everything. So yes.
Stop wasting time with non-believers.
And then you can always turn to strangers on the internet. It's received very positive reviews from consumers who have bought it, and if we take a look at Amazon, as of January in 2024, the Quest 3 has an average rating of 4.4 out of 5, with over 2,600 reviews. So is it worth it? In 2024, the Quest 3 is the clear winner in the standalone space. Only other options are the Quest 2 and the Pico 4, or waiting for the Quest 3 Lite if that drops later this year. The other headsets at this price point require a PC or PlayStation, and the majority of standalone units like the Apple Vision Pro or the new HTC are targeting enterprise customers and will likely be way over this price point. If you want to know the top 50 games to play with your new headset, then you can click right here. And if I haven't made it yet, then maybe you could subscribe because it's coming next week.